I thought the aortic dissection was a death sentence for my career. I thought physically I could not do this very physical job anymore. It was to the point where I was like, the things that I want to do, I can't do it. But I'm so glad that I was proven wrong with support, with doing physical therapy, and also by being compliant. My big break in modeling was the time where I got discovered by Tyra Banks and her creators of Modeland. I was elated, ecstatic, overjoyed, overwhelmed when Tyra chose me as the body positivity male model. It was during the pandemic, and it was during a time where our creative juices wasn't flowing, so I appreciate Tyra for doing that Modeland presentation where she really jolted the spirit of the creatives to really go out and keep on being creative. I was in very deep pain going into the emergency room. The pain that I felt from the top of my head all the way down to my feet started to just center into my abdomen area. And at first I was like, okay, is it just my appendix needs to be taken out? What is it? During that time, the nurses were, evaluating me and things of that nature, but I felt so alone during that time. I was screaming out in pain, and the nurses were like, yes, we know you're in pain. And it got to the point where I felt groggy, and they were prepping me for surgery. And my sister called me, FaceTimed me, and she was asking me how I was, and I was just trying to put on a brave face because she had my niece with her on her lap, and she was just sobbing. And for me, I knew that I had messed up big time, not just because it was me going through this ordeal, but I never wanted my sister to see me in that type of state. So when she started crying, I was like, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this. I'm gonna get through this. Just pray and let's keep a strong face. Recovery was still long. I've been out of the hospital 2 years now, and I still have physical therapy. The physical therapist came to my house 5 times a week to start to help me walk, start to help me with the movements of my limbs. Speech therapist there twice a week, helping me to get back my voice. My health is very important. It is the lifeline to me even being a model today. As mentioned, I am on dialysis because I do have kidney failure, and I go to dialysis 3 times a week, 7 hours each day. And that's one way that I have become compliant in making sure that my body is supported by the great actions that I'm doing to take to make sure that my blood work is good, that my physical health is great while going to rehabilitation therapy twice a week. They make sure that I get from point A to point B to point C, making sure that I'm eating properly. Sometimes I fall, but for the most part, I am compliant when it comes to food and the preparation of food and how that food affects me personally and physically and mentally. When it comes to my health, I am taking my medications as prescribed. So taking my medications, going to dialysis, being compliant with the foods that I'm eating is just a whole new world for me now. After my aortic dissection, I truly was panicking. I did not know what I was able to do. I didn't even know there was models that are out here with disabilities, even disabilities of my kind. I was having a moment because I had to talk to my model coach and just tell her what was really going on with me emotionally. Like, is my career over? I didn't know. But with prayer and with people rooting for me and with education and finding out the real true meaning of having a disability but still going after your dreams, I was doing that, and people gave me the support that I needed to find that center that I needed again, because I felt like I had lost. But when I got out of the hospital, there was so many wins that I had. The first win was I think maybe a week and a half after I got out of the hospital, I was placed in a magazine. Right after that, I was featured in another magazine. After that, Izod came beckoning for me. Izod, the fashion house, and they put me as one of their Izod partners for their brand, because they saw all of the work that I had done previously before my aortic dissection, and they wanted to give me a shot with that. So there were so many things that was happening. So in other words, my work was speaking for me. With all the things that I've experienced, the things that I'm most looking forward to is spending quality time with my family. The notion that I will be a top model. The notion that I can still model and model with disabilities with no problem. What's next is continuously getting called to go to New York Fashion Week, but also I want to expand that to go to Milan and Paris and LA and Miami for Fashion Week. I want to extend my legacy and make known that the way that I bring it when it comes to editorial and fashion and runway is unparalleled. I'm an individual and individualistic when it comes to the way that I do modeling, photography. When I'm in front of that lens, it's like it's just me and that lens, and I am doing what I do and I'm doing what I love, and it shows within the presence that I'm giving. I'm looking forward to finding a modeling company to grow with and to shoot to the stars with in fashion. I'm looking forward to going all around the world, doing what I love. Walking, posing, high editorial, runway, and being the creative that I was destined to be. The people that I would love to work with is Takara. I would love to work with her. I would love to work with Precious Lee. Precious Lee is the #1 baddest model in the game for plus size women. And I would love to work with Tyson Beckford. I idolized him ever since I was a young teenager. So those 3 would be the 3 that I would love to work with one day. The advice that I would give to somebody that is looking to still press on with hardship and they still want to manifest their dreams is to take each day, one day at a time, to make sure that you're writing out your vision, that you're making that vision plain, that you are doing your research, most importantly, and that you are setting yourself up for a long strategy of success. Knowing who you are is one key. Projecting who you are and making known to the world of who you are and what you do and what you're good at is the key to making sure that the hardship that you have is just one piece of a whole puzzle. You are great just because you are you. No matter what the struggle is, keep focused on the dream. Somebody told me a couple of days ago, yeah, you're about to turn 42, but you're really 2 years old because this life that you have now is a new life. And I have to agree with that because I'm glad to be living. I'm glad to be alive. Like the psalmist says, I'm glad to be in this service. I'm glad to be in this service. I'm glad to be in this service one more time. He didn't have to let me live. He didn't have to let me live. And I'm glad to be in this service one more time.